Hello crafty cuties and welcome back to another rapid review. Today I wanted to share with you the Tim Holtz Tonic Guillotine trimmer. This is the 8.5 inch trimmer, so that means you can only cut up to 8.5 inch papers. So it goes to 8.5 inches right here, and then the measurements up here go to 6 inches. So of course you can cut things that are longer, but you're not going to have a good idea of the precise measurements. I believe there is a 12-inch one, which would be probably more suitable for scrapbookers or those who work with 12 by 12 papers a lot, which I actually do. However, I don't have a lot of space to work on, and I figured that most of the time I'm trimming my papers down pretty small, and when I'm really needing a good trimmer, it is for my small embellishments, little strips of paper for card sentiments, or for card making in general. So I went ahead and got this size because of all of those reasons, and I read great reviews on it, except of course those who want to cut bigger pieces and they didn't realize how small this was. I have only had this for 2 days now and I am in love. So real quick from the website, I'll just let you know. Basically it says the 22 centimeter handy comfort trimmer is packed with all the features of the larger guillotines in the range, which means it has a hardened stainless steel precise ground blade and accurate grid, but this quality tool is designed with card making and crafters in mind. So I also read on the website that this blade is it's self-sharpening, which was a huge selling point for me because I am used to using my little Fiskars paper trimmer with the blade that goes like this. I think maybe it's called a rotary blade, and I have to change the blades on that thing all the time. I actually brought a piece of paper so that I could show you even what the edges look on mine, and maybe I mean, it can't be that I have a crappy one because I buy new blades all the time, but beyond that, I've tried probably 3 of those trimmers now, and eventually they all give me this fuzzy edge. So maybe I just didn't get a hold of the right one, and if you actually do know one that's really good and can cut up to 12-inch papers or 12 by 12s, let me know, because I definitely want another compact one, trimmer for my 12 by 12s. Anyways, I really just wanted a good paper trimmer that I could get precise cutting with and that was going to give me a really clean edge, and that is what this does here. It does have a safety guard here, so basically it kind of like alerts you that the blade is right here. You do need to keep this up and away from children, obviously, so I am going to keep it up in my craft room when I'm not using it, or sorry, craft closet, like on the highest shelf. My son doesn't play with my things like without asking me, but you just never know. So I just show you a couple of things here. So I have an 8.5 by 11 paper here, letter size paper. So I just want to show you that you definitely can only fit the 8.5 side in here. So as you can see, so you definitely, the only thing that is kind of weird is that if you are a card maker and you like to do top folding cards, you can't actually cut those with this. So I did think that was kind of weird. I forgot to mention that when it says with card makers in mind, because I would say that doing a top folded card is probably one of the more popular styles. So, I mean, you definitely can't do that because you would have to cut it in half here on the long side. So that's kind of a bummer, but I will work around that, and I know that I'll get a lot of use out of this for my embellishments and things like that, and I am not a hardcore card maker. If I was, I don't know, it's hard to say. It's hard to say because I'm not. So anyways, we'll go ahead and I'll show you. So for me, when I'm making cards, I usually always cut a panel that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. It does have popular sizes marked on here by like 5 by 7, 3 by 5, 2 by 3 by 3.5 inches. So we're going to do the 4 1/4, and it's marked down here. These are 1/4 inch markings on this grid here, and it shows me right here is where I go. I'm kind of at a weird angle. I mostly just want to show you how clean this cuts, and you just want to hold down here and it trims right there, and I mean, it's hard to see on camera, but it's such a clean cut. Like there's not even the slightest little fuzz. And then if we did want to cut this into a card base, like I mentioned, we would go to 5.5. And that is right here. So now we have a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch base that we can use for our card. So yeah, I mean, I really like it, but also, like I mentioned, it can cut teeny little strips, and this is really hard to do on my Fiskars trimmer just because it kind of moves when you're trying to cut such a small strip. And so I like this because you can cut the teeniest strips. You just have to make sure to hold this in place. You know, you can figure out your measurement, or if you had a sentiment stamped on a piece of paper, it would be easy to snip right there. And it's just super straight, as you can see. So I like that. And I wanted to do a quick demo to show that I was cutting through 10 pieces of this graph paper, and it cuts through just great. I'm using this graph paper inside of my traveler's notebook bullet journal, and you move, you want to set your markings where you're actually cutting right at the edge of the blade down here. And I'm just going to hold this in place because when you are cutting several papers, you know, it can shift pretty easy. Just like that. Try that again. Okay, you have to go pretty fast, but as you can see, this has an extremely even cut. At first there, when my paper shifted, I'm at kind of a weird angle, so I wasn't holding it down, but you can see it didn't ruin anything. Yeah, I hope that if you guys were in the market for a guillotine trimmer, that you will check this one out. It is super inexpensive, affordable, and I'm super excited. Like I said, I would love to get my hands on the one that cuts 12 by 12, but I just don't have space for that right now. And this is definitely going to come in handy for a ton of my projects. If you guys want to let me know down below what your favorite paper trimmer is down below, do that. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.